Hey everyone, Gig Coach Jake here, back with some more gig economy news. GrubHub is now testing out a new pay model that is similar to DoorDash. No, not as low as $1 per delivery, but they've created a test that they're now going to start in some markets. I know Denver's one of them, where it's basically an algorithm. So, before I get into too much more detail about it, and really get discouraged, I want to see some data. I want to see what happens with this first before I get too hyped up. But what I do want to do is inform all of you what's going on and to get you prepared for what may happen. So let's take a look here at what this email says. It says, hey, we work hard to regularly improve your experience as a GrubHub driver. So based on feedback from thousands of drivers, we are improving how you earn to better compensate you for your efforts on each order. Some of you might be wondering, what feedback? I didn't give you any feedback. I'm happy with the way you pay. Well, it's a feedback based on not getting paid for wait time. You know there's a lot of incurred wait time at a lot of these merchants based on the dispatch system. So instead of GrubHub going ahead and fixing the way that they dispatch orders, what they've gone and done is created a new pay model where it's basically an algorithm. So this algorithm includes the time and a number of different factors. So it reminds me of reading the pay model for DoorDash, where it talks about, the algorithm, takes into consideration a number of different factors, the time it's going to take, blah, blah. Anyhow, let me read on. What's different? We recognize that no two deliveries are the same. Don't joke. So instead of being paid separate amounts for your mileage and per order rate, why, what was wrong with that? We're cool with that. You'll now receive a single amount for your delivery pay, delivering an order from acceptance to drop off, as well as other delivery and market conditions. So they're taking away the transparency is basically what they're doing, as what I could see. I mean, if you're using an algorithm, to figure out for fair pay. A lot of times when that happens, it does not benefit drivers. Now, again, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't want everyone to get discouraged, because this could be a good thing. We don't know yet. We need to see more data and see how it plays out in some of these other markets like Denver before we get all riled up. So again, I'm just sharing the news and what's going on here. Let me read on. What's staying the same? You'll still receive 100% of your tips. You have to. That's by law, you have to give that. So that's another thing that leads me to think this isn't good for drivers. But again, don't want to jump to conclusions. And the amount you're paid for an order will be determined independently from the tip you receive. So what that means right there is that's where they're going to be different than DoorDash. They're not going to have a sliding pay scale based on the tip amount. So there's going to be an established amount through that algorithm, and then the tip will be on top of that. So that is where they're better than DoorDash with this tested pay model that maybe go live everywhere. So not all bad, but it is a decline if what I think is going to happen. You'll also still earn the GrubHub hourly minimum in your market as long as you meet the required criteria, including delivering while on a block and meeting your market's minimum acceptance rating. Now, it's pretty funny that they mentioned that, because they're phasing out and doing away with the hourly contribution in a lot of markets. Some of it's already gone. Now, you best believe if you're in a bigger market, it's probably going to be gone in yours pretty soon. Not yet, but it's coming. What they do is they'll start in some markets and then phase it out over time instead of doing it all at once. All companies have been doing this. Lyft, Uber, all the gig companies, they all do that. So they talk about we're testing something. That's just their way of rolling it out slowly over time. So let me go ahead and read on. I want to jump down to the bottom, though. That's what really pertains to us. If you look down there, it says, what is your pay? You'll be paid a per order amount, delivery pay, plus 100% of your tips for every order you deliver. Now, what I don't like about that delivery pay is it's not very transparent. Before, for example, like the way it is now in my market, we get $3.25 base pay plus 50 cents per mile. We don't get anything for wait time, unfortunately, but at least we know exactly how much we're going to make for the mileage that we do and an exact base. Now there's all these factors in there. What's going on is they're having to compete with DoorDash. Same thing that happened in rideshare when Uber and Lyft drive down the rates. So Uber, they were the big dogs, right? And then Lyft came along. Lyft started increasing their market share big time and threatening Uber. What did Uber have to do? they had to start dropping their rates to match Lyft. So now it's all been a race to the bottom in both of those. Anyone that's been a rideshare driver, been in gig economy a long time, knows all about that and what's about to happen. So take advantage while you can and start to plan for the future, because things are not looking good with what's going on. Now, again, DoorDash is a big rise. They're taking a lot of market share. If you look, they're on the rise. GrubHub is actually a decline in market share, and they're catching up fast. Both have been marketing aggressively. So I know you've seen some commercials with GrubHub, right? They have the free delivery with Taco Bell. That's been a nightmare. So that's supposed to end on the 9th. But the Yum Yum brands and all that stuff, it could be coming back, and that stuff might not be over. So don't get too excited about that ending on the 9th just yet. That nightmare with GrubHub and Taco Bell, you haven't seen the end of that. But, so let's move on. Anyhow, so now DoorDash, they're marketing, and I've seen commercials from them as well. It's a big push, and what's going to happen, though, is the battle with these two is going to drive the rates down. Unfortunately, that's bad for drivers. So, again, start to plan ahead. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't want to get everyone riled up and fired up, because we don't know what's really going to happen with this delivery pay algorithm that they have. It could be a good thing. I'm hoping for it. I'm a realist, though. Reality tells me that it's not good for drivers based on history and what has gone on with gig economy and all the other companies. But I like to be hopeful and hope for the best and be prepared for anything. I hope this helps some of you. If anything, be prepared for the future. But as always, be safe out there, have fun on the road, and work hard, but work smarter.